Ngel Shazia hurting and Madame catching up.
Hanget, beli fifim ngay se.
Pagkabay ba nung ngel? Nrete broshing emin hapsinyog tang itek pop. Perhikam babhajungi.
Ki khubor ka bate si TV ka umdi basnyam bat pinjasliang. Rupa Premium Meghalaya.
Kano ekitin jong BJP ka Shazia Ilmi kala ong ba kamang tingka jong Snem archa Pynroi kalang kum kalenti ka play ka jing play jumot hagi kam Pynroi Hapoh kari barok away hagi jing akram kilar pthai ko bor hagi jing wan yu ka jet shanong ba shilong hagi khalai tu uram phang arajar Pynroi kani kano ekitin jong BJP kala ong bakani kalong shibinta hagi jing kaladur jong kari shako viksit baharan kablas dang nadu Snem arajar khatsaw ke Ilmi kala ong baka mang tingka kamday than tangi ka jing penlut pisa hindi ka peni ka jing thumu ka bajingay nagbenda ka roy ka par hakri kum ha ka bashnay ka surang ka puli ka buthi ka sing kam sing jam ka jing sinshar ka bakhod klay tho bapalat at puwaya jar Klur la penlut ha ka mang pisa nagbenta ka puli buthi ha ka than jite la mingi nadu Snem arajar khatsaw bat prapusan person ki district ha ka than kila kiyo bhasha khmat habro kilyang ha biya day bat ka jila Meghalaya kalau orang bagajing pulut pisah kalau kieu na ka 100,000 prospa kat we Klur haus 6 arajar khat saw syakar pulai hajar saw spa nyepun riu Klur bar kena hajar ros pa Klur la akum ka pisah on tight scheme ling bagajing kieu ha kajing pinmi khajna ha ka juga por u convener jong budget publicity campaign nak benta shatela mingi jong BJP Ushri Devesh Kumar labatai ka jingmut jong union budget kablawan ra ada menteri ka Sorkar Pdeng kebakhmi ikatran plating ka Nirmala Sitaraman hakashitri urumphang dag bapen pau bakamang tingka klapen le jingmut hakijinon kam bakongsan jong kipat ba kiblama jing e hadi ke jinglen shop ke jingpang khlam COVID-19 ulong baka capital outlay klakiu na lai point pra lak Klur house nem aja khat pra aja khakhandai syaka khat ar point arpu ar lak Klur hakari kamang tingka kabamut bakalakiu khatway point san person na usnem arajar arpusan.
That is very important, and I must say that our state, Meghalaya state, I'm here, and I consider it my state also as part of my country. So it's an honor for me to say this, and you know it, that the state has recorded average double-digit growth over the last decade. 80% of Meghalaya's population lives in rural areas, which is why it was very important for us to look at road connectivity. And I will tell you in terms of kilometrage, how much the roadways, how much the entire, how much they have increased, and what a huge jump there is in what the connectivity was and now. Agriculture, of course, is 22% of the state economy. And if you look at overall the budget 2026, it empowers Meghalaya through a higher tax devolution. And now we're looking at 9,600 crores given to the state, which is untied funds, specifically for state's development. So 9,600 crores specifically as untied funds, more flexibility, and of course, it means greater responsibility. What does that translate into? What does this 9,600 crores mean to a citizen of Meghalaya, to you and me, to every brother and sister of Meghalaya? Connectivity. We're looking at hill areas, feeder roads, and which is also and the digital backbone. Tourism as a year-round livelihood. You know, I had the privilege and the pleasure to go to Doki, and I just saw how beautiful it was. Can you imagine how important it can be as an economy and as livelihood for our local brothers and sisters? So it just shouldn't be a seasonal income, but a year-long livelihood. Agri-value addition, which means processing, branding and exporting. Youth skilling and entrepreneurship, very, very important. So migration is a choice. It is not a compulsion. Friends, earlier budgets have failed, and I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying that they were wrong to do it or they did not plan it better. Intentions, I'm not saying were wrong, but the delivery systems were very weak. So what at the center, what has been done under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi ji is that the delivery systems have become so much better and leakage free. So 2014, you all know, and I want to give a small perspective. It's important for us to give you the overall, the vision that we started with Jam Trinity, Jan Dhan Yojana, Aadhaar, and mobile telephony. Wherever I go in the interiors, and even whether it was a boatman or the chai wala, and I love the lal chai here, everybody had the UPI, and I could pay through my phone, and I think that's huge because everybody is connected. So if you look at overall in India what the central welfare schemes have done, I will tell you how much there has been a transformation in terms of just the poor having access to the banking sector, financial inclusion. 56 crore Jan Dhan accounts, this is all over India. Direct benefit transfers, more than 52 crore of Mudra loans, and of course Swachh Bharat, you all know about it, more than 12 crore households have benefited. Now, and of course Ayushman Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, 55 crore citizens. Now let's come to Meghalaya. And in Meghalaya, I want to say this with a lot of joy that over 30 crore unorganized workers are now registered on the e-Shram portal, and more than half are women. And where the Ayushman cards are concerned, in Meghalaya itself, 21.4 lakh Ayushman cards have been created. And when it comes to PM Kisan Samman Yojana, you all know about it, how every Annadata, every farmer and a producer is given an honorable amount as honorarium amount. That the number is huge, and that is 1,50,413. So those many farmers have got the Samman Yojana, the benefit of which, because of which on a yearly basis they get that honorarium, that amount which helps them. PM Jan Dhan Yojana, 9 lakh and more than 9 lakhs, the number has gone up. These are slightly dated figures. So more than 9 lakh beneficiaries of Jan Dhan Yojana are in Meghalaya. Let's look at Ujjwala Yojana. This is amazing. We know how people suffered, and sometimes here also I see using the older chulas. But now there are more than 3,16,157 beneficiaries and families and mothers and sisters who benefit from Ujjwala Yojana. Har Ghar Jal, Har Ghar Nal, Har Ghar Nal Se Jal. 5.2 lakh rural households have benefited from the central welfare schemes, all created and envisaged by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his team. When it comes to Awas Yojana, let's look at the urban numbers. And we look at urban numbers, there have been 4,554 eligible and sanctioned beneficiaries. And as I told you, the Mudra Yojana, 14,000 people in Meghalaya have benefited from Mudra Yojana, and 186 crore rupees have been sanctioned against Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana to support small entrepreneurs and self-employed individuals and citizens of Meghalaya. Now let's look at connectivity, something very important and crucial to Meghalaya's development. Bharatmala Pariyojana corridors, development of 170 kilometers of national highways in Meghalaya with sanction cost of 2,703 crores to improve connectivity in the state. Let's look at now Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, very important. Now look at this, the rural roadways. Now the 88 rural roads totaling of 782 kilometers and 55 bridges to strengthen the rural connectivity. Let's look at the new IT park that is being talked about and it's already been sanctioned. It is in Tura. Foundation stone has been laid under central support to promote digital infrastructure and jobs. Let's look at big projects like Dhubri Phulbari Bridge. One of India's longest it will significantly transform Meghalaya's access to markets and trade routes. So Meghalaya right now has 2 Swadesh Darpan projects sanctioned under the scheme overall. Total amount that has been sanctioned is 184 crores, a little more than that rupees, out of which all the amount has already been released and utilized is also quite a bit, which is 176 crores so to speak. Now, this reflects the central funding flow towards tourism and the commitment the center has towards Meghalaya development under Swadesh Darshan for the state. So, when we look at the entire Northeast circuit, you see how many projects have been there. When you look at tourism infrastructure of Umiam Lake and nearby circuits, traditional healing, tribal rejuvenation centers, tourist information centers, multi-purpose hall, gift shops, souvenir shops, water spots, trekking routes, canopy walks, last mile connectivity, and solid waste facilities. A lot of money has been given, and this project was inaugurated by the Chief Minister of Meghalaya in 2019. So this, my friends, is not any abstract policy or any arithmetic or some numbers that I'm doling out. This is measurable human impact. We all know that women are at the center of development all over India, more so in Meghalaya. And so all the schemes that have been there are women-centric, development-oriented. Most Jandhan accounts are held by women. Housing ownership increasingly carries women's names. LPG connections, DBT transfers empowers women directly.
On the 1st of February. Now, every budget has a philosophy, and every budget is a product of the time. So, there was a pandemic in between, and because of the specific situation, extraordinary situation, the government, because so many people were dying and so many people were getting affected, people's purchasing power, whatever savings they had, it was going down. So the government started so many welfare schemes, which I am from Bihar, schemes like 5 kgs of ration every month to every pack, which is still continuing. It was so well appreciated by the people. When we go to the people, they have a special word of thanks for Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji for thinking of the scheme and continuing with it. So, and likewise, there were so many other schemes which were started during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, because purchasing power of private investors, it was all getting affected. So the government decided, apart from spending a lot of money on the welfare schemes, to enhance the capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is the expenditure incurred by the government on the creation of assets like roads, highways, ports, buildings. So the capital expenditure, it has grown significantly since the pandemic. Last year, the revised estimate, capital expenditure estimate was 10.96 lakh crore. It has gone up to 12.22 lakh crore. And during, you would be surprised to know that this expenditure was only rupees 3.08 lakh crore in 2018-19. So you see the leap which capital expenditure has taken place. That is because private investment was not coming up because of a specific situation, also because of the economic slowdown in the world. So the government have to come forward to help the people. That is why there was an increase in capital expenditure. And as compared to the last year, there has been a 11.5% increase in capital expenditure, which is significant. This is the money which is going into the creation of assets like the roads, highways which you see in Meghalaya and other parts of the country. So this was one significant feature of the budget which took place after the pandemic. And continuing with the welfare schemes, our, one of the founder ideologues of the party, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, he enunciated a concept called Antyodaya. And Antyodaya is that the last man in the queue, last man in the society, has to benefit from the government schemes. So the government is working on that philosophy that the last man standing in the queue should benefit from the whatever measures the government is taking. Antyodaya is one philosophy, guiding philosophy of the budget. And so because with that guiding philosophy, our finance minister spoke of 3 kartavyas, which which bind our union budget. One is to take on India on the road to prosperity. Second is to scale up the capacity of the people of India. And third is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which means to give equal opportunities to all people of the society, all segments of the society. So with this philosophy in mind, our Union Minister Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman enunciated the budget, and it also has other measures which all are, which follow from the guiding principles, the 3 kartavyas, like the push being given to the industrial sector, push being given to employment generation. There are so many measures which have been enunciated, which have been highlighted in the budget. The new age economy, data centers, artificial intelligence, pharmaceuticals, biochemicals, so biotech, all these new age economy, because India, we have to, our Prime Minister talks of Viksit Bharat, which is a developed India by 2047, and we cannot develop without competing with the rest of the world in the emerging technologies. So there's a significant push to emerging technologies, the employment generation, like I said, capital expenditure, 7 new dedicated freight corridors. So all these would end up, the government thinks, and we hope so, I'm sure, will give a fillip to industrial sector, to empowerment of women, youth, and the farming sector, the farmers, the andatas, as our Prime Minister is so fond of saying. They are the ones who produce food for the rest of the population. So the entire budget follows from this philosophy. There's a significant portion which is devoted to the development of the Northeast, because our Prime Minister believes sincerely that India cannot grow until the Northeast of India grows. So he first talked of Look East, and now he talks of the Act East policy. So there are significant measures with respect to the Northeast and with respect specifically to Meghalaya, which Honorable Member of the Press was inquiring about yesterday. Shazia ji will take us through all those measures.
Oh, for once I'm ready before her. Chale! Gorgeous. Let's go!
Coming. How much you honk, yeah?
Come on, we should leave.
Chill. It's just family.
Exactly. और घर वाले ही late.
By the way, how am I looking?
Very late.
Streamers, caps, candles, cake, definitely balloons. सब आ गया. Wait a minute. Where is everyone? Show off.
Hey bro, how's it going?
एक बात बता, सबसे फास्ट होकर भी हमेशा लेट कैसे?
Style bro, style.
Hello guys, where's the birthday boy?
यहीं कहीं होगा, अपने फीचर्स को रील्स पे शो ऑफ करता हुआ।
इतना बिगाड़ा जो है, ऑटोमेटिक गियर बॉक्स, वेंटिलेटेड सीट्स, सनरूफ।
क्यों ना हो, फैमिली का सबसे यंगेस्ट भी तो है। Let's go guys, party time.